Hello, vinyl community and anyone else that may be watching. That's a quote from Tim Allen, another VC YouTuber. My name's Chris. I had watched some videos today. I think they were all today on that Brandon, MrHallof Fame, had started a reverse thread about albums that you may like that the rest of YouTube doesn't like or may be ignoring. So I watched 3 videos on that. First one was smfcpthowdy, John, and then Brandon at MrHallof Fame, and then Andy at Andy's Vinyl Den. I saw those, and so in support of what I saw on those channels, I had a couple albums, and then I pulled some of my own to show. So first one was Styx was one of the bands that was shown that may be ignored or not taken seriously or not given enough love. So this is Styx 2 on wooden nickel. This is a reissue. The original's a gatefold from early 70s. I'm not sure. This is, like I said, a reissue on that label. Also, there was Donna Summer was mentioned as one of the artists. So this is Live and More with this die cut gatefold concert scene 2 LP set. Donna Summer, Casablanca. I think those were both, John had shown those. Andy, Steel Eye Span was one of the bands that he mentioned. So here's Pleased to See the King, 1971. This is on Big Tree. Good English folk. Another one from 71, 10-Man Mop, Steel Eye Span. This is again a reissue. I think this is a 1976 reissue of the 1971 album. This one's on Mooncrest. So now the albums that I picked, or the artists that I picked, Eric Burdon was one that I felt didn't get enough love, especially this album here. Eric is here. Eric Burdon and the Animals. I think this is 1967, but he has abandoned all of his earlier work and gone for singer-songwriter style. So he does a lot of covers on here. Randy Newman. I forget the rest of them, but you know. Mama Told Me Not to Come is the Randy Newman. This Side of Goodbye. This Ain't Where It's At. In a Lifetime. Help Me Girl. Wait Till Next Year. Losing Control. It's Not Easy. The Biggest Bundle of Them All. So, yeah. He's such a good vocalist, and he picks such good songs. This is a real strong album throughout. So I don't really have any weak tracks on this thing. This is MGM label. And then a couple of years later, 1974, he put out another strong album. You know, sort of atypical from his the rest of his work. Sun Secrets. So this is sort of his hard rock, heavy metal type album. He does It's My Life, which is one that he did with the Animals, and it was a hit. Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood, the same. Does Johnny Cash Ring of Fire, the hard rock version. So it's on Rising Sun label, which is, well, I don't know. This is on Capitol, but subsidiary Far Out, and the front cover shows, I guess that's Far Out also. So, people he's playing with, I'm not familiar with them, but I am with Eric Burdon. Now, next artist, you know, they get a lot of love for their very early albums. That would be Blue Cheer, like Vincebus Eruptus and New and Improved, which I think is my favorite album because of the strong Randy Holden influence, where he does one whole side. And Outside Inside, or Inside Outside, which is pretty psychedelic, but you know, they did other albums after that. These three in particular, they sort of changed their sound a little bit, so this could have also been applied to one of those earlier threads, you know, Left Turn albums. Yeah. So this first one is Original Human Being, or Blue Cheer 5. You know, they went through a lot of lineup changes through these albums too. So this is Gary Yoder on lead guitar. I think he was with CAC, another psychedelic band. This is 71, I think, on the Phillips label. So the first song has sort of a psychedelic guitar, but it's not really heavy in the style of their first two or three. And then this album, the next one, you know, they sort of went country rock. You know, Hello LA, Bye Bye Birmingham, which is I think Delaney Bonnie. Yeah. Dylan Phillips. You know, Bruce Burns Kellogg. You know, so again, you know, their new sound, but still enjoyable if you accept it for what it is. And then Oh Pleasant Hope, which again is more country rockish. So Blue Cheer. Then after this, they took a break for a few years, and then they came back basically as the Dickie Peterson Band, and you know, went back to heavy metal type sound with Dickie Peterson on bass and other players with him. Another band that doesn't get mentioned, other than I've mentioned them in some video or something, but Urban Verbs. This is a 1980 album on Warner Brothers. So they were, you know, that post-punk sound, electronic type sound. This is pretty good. Probably my intro music to this video will be something from Urban Verbs. Roddy France, one of the members is related to, or Chris France, Roddy France, but related to a Talking Heads member. And they put out one other album during this time period, Early Damage, 1981. You know, just about still still the same level as the previous album. So Urban Verbs. And that 1991 semi-electronica sound. Then another artist. I don't see him get much mention, but maybe I just looked in the wrong places. But Manfred Mann. So started out. This is first or second album, 1964. Manfred Mann album. I've got, this is the mono version on Ascot. So Smokestack Lightning, got my mojo working, I'm your hoochie coochie man. So, kind of blues rock at this point. And I'll just show some selected albums. I may do a thread on him, so I don't want to show too many. I think this is 65. My Little Red Book of Winter, so he does My Little Red Book, Who Love Would Do in a Year or So, by Burt Bacharach. Brother Jack, Poison Ivy, still on Ascot. 1966, Manfred Mann As Is. I think this is an English release, UK release, on Fontana. And then regrouped as Manfred Mann Chapter 3. So this is Manfred Mann Chapter 3 Volume 2. I think there were 3 albums put out by Chapter 3. And this is one of my few Vertigo label albums. So, Gatefold, this is around 1970, I think. But Vertigo, 1970, yeah. So taking a more progressive sound here from the earlier blues rock or beat sound. And then another change, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. So this is 72 maybe. Again, stayed in the progressive vein. On Polydor. Then 73, Solar Fire. This is just becoming a very progressive keyboards-oriented band. I mean, Manfred Mann was always a keyboard player, but here he's pushing it a little bit more. This is on Bronze. And then Manfred Mann, The Good Earth, 1974 approximately. This one implied that you own some earth somewhere. You got deed to that, a square foot or a square inch. With the purchase of that, Nightingales and Bombers. And that was the last for the Manfred Mann grouping. Now another one that you know, I don't think that it's appreciated enough is Electric Light Orchestra. I think I've seen somebody show Out of the Blue, but other than that, pretty much ignored. So here's their first one, 1971. Roy Wood is still in the band at this point, post-move. So they're developing their, you know, orchestral rock sound, whatever you want to call it. This is United Artists. Battle of Marston Moor is maybe their best one on here. I don't know. And Electric Light Orchestra 2, 1973. So Roy Wood has left the band. So now Jeff Lynne is sort of in charge. This is probably my favorite of the Electric Light Orchestra albums, even though it's got Roll Over Beethoven, which kind of doesn't really fit in here other than the style they're playing it in. So still United Artists, but I think there's 5 tracks on here. In Old England Town, Boogie 2, From the Sun to the World, Boogie 1, Mama, Kiama, and Roll Over Beethoven. So all of them are long tracks. You know, this is, like I said, my favorite of them, other than maybe I'll skip over Roll Over Beethoven. I heard that enough early on. And then they went on, you know, on the 3rd day, you know, they kept putting out strong albums, you know, very successful radio-wise. So on the 3rd day, 74 nights, the night the light went on in Long Beach, so live recording. El Dorado, so that's a scene from Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's Red Slippers, Face the Music, New World Orchestra, Tightrope, Telephone Line, Living Thing, Do Ya? They do a Todd Rundgren song, which is a good one. The aforementioned Out of the Blue double LP, Turn to Stone. And the last one I have out of this batch is Time. This is, I think, 1983. This is on Jet. Inner sleeve. Jet label. And then the last artist is Robert Palmer. So he started out with this, you know, pseudo reggae sound. Sneaking Sally Through the Alley. I was introduced to this in, you know, Girlfriend of My Girlfriend's. We went to visit her and I saw these. We listened to them. So Sneaking Sally Through the Alley. Has sailing shoes from Little Feet. On Island, I think. Yeah, Island, 70 something, early 70s. Then Pressure Drop, another take on a reggae song. Toots and the Maytals, is that who did that song? Still on Island. Some people can do what they like. I saw Robert Palmer in concert in late 70s or early 80s. I think he was opened for Eric Clapton. It was a good concert, but it was kind of strange. He came off with his head all hunched down through and looked kind of weird throughout the concert, but you know, never seen him before, so maybe that's what he's always like. Man smart, woman smarter, gotta get a grip on you. Some people can do what they like, you know, the good songs, some of the good songs off there. Double Fun, this might be his best album in my estimation. Best of Both Worlds, Some Kind of People, Love Can Run Faster, You Overwhelm Me, Still on Island, very good. Secrets, I found this one, but I didn't have it documented anywhere. Luckily, I still had a receipt inside of it. I must have purchased this new or almost new in 1979. Rainbow Connection in Miami, Florida. $4.99 I paid for this thing. He's got the Moon Martin song, Bad Case of Lovin' You, on here. That might have been the hit song. Clues, this was, you know, a more 80s album, you know, following the post-punk, looking for clues. Johnny and Mary, I Dream of Wires, which is, I think, Gary Newman. So, changed the sound somewhat, but strong album. Maybe It's Alive. So, a live album. Does songs throughout his whole catalog. And last two, Pride. On Island, and then last one I've got on vinyl at least, Riptide. So this includes his big MTV hit, Addicted to Love, Hyperactive also on here. So you know, I won't claim this is his strongest, but you know, it was successful. So those were my albums, my artists. You know, maybe not given enough appreciation by the vinyl community. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.